Get out of there! My dog's digging, man. She's digging. Get out! Hey, go! Physical. Go! Get out of there, son! Go! Stop digging! Go! Get out! Hey, go! Physical. Go! Get out of there, son! Go! My dog's digging. Go! Get out! Hey, go! So I took the drink. Go! Get out of there, son! Go! The GYMHOMIE, man. Go! Get out! Hey, go! So I took the drink. Go! Get out of there, son! Go! The GYMHOMIE, man. Go! What up, what up? It's Garage Gym, homie. And today, I want to talk about how I got into bodybuilding and working out and kind of just a history about my progression into the workout world, man. And is it worth it? Before we get into this here, please click the subscribe button. I got content coming out every day for you. So click subscribe. And let's get into it. Actually, I got content coming out all the dang time for you. That's what I got. Because it's not going to be every day, man. Not going to be every day. But I told you I wanted to do more content, stuff just talking about where I came from and, addiction, bodybuilding, nutrition. I got workout videos I'm about to be doing. I'm going to try and expand this channel, man. And kind of open it up, so stuff I want to talk about. So I just want to give you some history about, where I came from with this whole workout thing. When I was a little kid, I'm talking about 6, 7 years old, my parents got divorced. And my mom started dating this guy who she knew since high school or something. And this guy was like a legend to me, man. I mean, I looked up to him. I thought he was the coolest guy in the whole dang world. He didn't have a job. He never worked in his life. He was a complete bum. But all he loved to do was run. He ran races, 5Ks. We'd tie up. My mom would tie up a rope to the car, and he would, hold the rope and run. And she'd pace him at certain miles an hour, and he didn't care. Nothing got in the way of this guy in running. That was it. So when I was 7 years old, that's what I looked up to, man. I was like, man, this guy is a hero. Nobody tells him what to do. All he does is what he wants, and that's running. So he used to take me, come to look back, he's a sick dude. But he used to take me, man, to the high school track, the local high school track, and we could, sneak in there on the weekend, and he would time me on running a mile. And I remember I put my heart and soul into that dang mile, man. He reminded me when I was older that I literally had tears coming from my eyes because I was running so hard as a kid. And I was running, I don't remember, 7.5, 8 minute miles, something was amazing for me. I pushed myself, it was like, I was a little kid, 7, 8, 9 years old, whatever it was. I forgot, my exact age, but around there. And then he would take me to the gas station. He'd buy me some candy, some Gatorade, whatever the heck I wanted. I just remember at that young age how good I felt from running. How I connected the dots at a very, very, very young age that working out felt good. That it wasn't. It's hard. It takes work. You push yourself. But there's a high that comes with it. Because he used to talk about getting high, the buzz. He used to talk about the buzz from working out. And he'd finish a run, he'd call me and say, how high he was. And literally, he would talk about the high. He was an addict. He talked about it like it was drugs. So that kind of always turned me on about working out. So, when I was that same age, man, I was introduced to snow skiing when I was 7 years old. I started skiing here in Michigan. I've been up north. I love skiing, man. Love it. I'm a great skier. I've skied in the mountains from I've been to Lake Tahoe, I've been to Jackson Hole, I've been to Whistler. Love skiing. My parents signed me up for basketball and baseball when I was a kid. Hated it. Always did it. Never told them I hated it. I was terrified of it. Felt like everyone in the game knew what was going on except me. I was a little guy. I didn't understand the rules of baseball. I didn't understand what was happening in these games. I felt like everybody understood but me. I was constantly in fear. Hated team sports. Just never felt comfortable in my own skin. And that's part of being an untreated addict alcoholic too. But I was an untreated addict alcoholic as a young kid. I always had this disease, man, of alcoholism since a young age. And never liked it. Loved skiing. Hated team sports. Loved running. Hated team sports. Then I got into skateboarding. Great skateboarder. Loved skateboarding. Became my whole passion, man. My whole passion. That was around the time, pretty much before I started smoking weed. I loved skateboarding, and then it kind of went with the lifestyle. I was in like 6th grade, 5th grade when I started skateboarding, and then I did that all through middle school, and then in high school I started getting high and skateboarding. That's all I did, man. Skateboarded. And I loved it. So the point is, I liked sports that I could push myself on an individual level, not competing in a team or any of that. That was too much for me. When I got shipped off to boarding school when I was 15 years old to a school in Arizona because I was a bad kid, man. I was failing school. I didn't take it seriously. I was hanging out with people who were starting to get in trouble for drugs. So my parents shipped me off to a school in Arizona, and they had a skate park there. Loved it. Got expelled from that school, and then my parents shipped me off after coming home for a little bit to another school, lockdown school in Texas. Now that school had very bare bone, man, with the workout stuff. We had a weight bench, we had some dumbbells, and we had a track. I remember that was it. We used to play. So when I first got there, I started doing push-ups, and we used to do like, pull out the deck of cards and put down a card and do push-ups. And we'd go through the deck or whatever with how many, whatever you say, the number five push-ups. And you go through the deck, or you'd play 21, 1, then the next person does 1, then 2, then 3, up to 21, and then back down, whatever it was. And then I learned how to, I got back to running then. So from being a kid, I hadn't run or worked out in many, many years. So when I got sober, went to that boarding school, I found that passion, that same high I did when that guy would run me around the track, that same feeling I'd get. And we'd have a weight bench. We would bench press. We bench press like every day, man. I didn't know anything about, the rules of working out, about, resting the muscles and all that to make them grow bigger, the recovery. I just wanted to work out. So, I always connected. I found it again in my life that working out gets me high. I always knew it. Working out gets me high. And running the mile gives me a different buzz than lifting weights. I'd start to develop some muscle there, nothing crazy. I was just, for 17, 18 years old, I was looking good. I had a little six-pack. My hormones must have been through the roof because they fed us like junk, and I still had a six-pack. I had a developed chest, and all that dang bench press. I don't remember how strong I was, but I loved it, man. Every day we would do abs, we would do chest, we would do some curls, and I just looked forward to it every night, man. Working out always felt good to me. So then, I got high for many years after, from age, 18 to 27, and never worked out again. And then at 27, man, when I came home, my brother pretty much rescued me from Los Angeles when I was about to die from heroin and crystal meth use and staph infections and all that nastiness that came with my drug use. He brought me home, and I was ready to get sober for good. I was ready to get sober for good. So he started taking me, man. I was detoxing off heroin and crystal meth and all that nastiness. And he had gotten into working out as a physique competitor. So he would take me to the powerhouse gym, and I think he just knew that, working out was going to help me feel good and help me with the detox. So he was kind enough to work out with me. We would go together, work out. I wasn't into, pre-workouts or any of that then, man. I just wanted to be training. I would do some cardio. I was trying to, put on some size and some health, because when I came home from LA, I was malnourished. I was like 128 pounds, which is, about 45 pounds less than I am now, at least. And so I was sucked up, man. I was sucked up from running the streets. I didn't look like the same person. And so, we would do workouts together, and it came right back to me, man, that feeling, that high from working out. So it's like, I always tell people, if working out's like a chore to you, just keep to it, man, because there will be a day where you connect that it feels good, that there's a reward for it, and it gets you high. Just think of it as getting high, man. You got to just think of working out as getting high. The harder you push, the higher you get. The more you push yourself. I don't mean in a way, push yourself in a way that's destructive. It's called bodybuilding, not body destruction, body construction. So you don't want to hurt yourself. But the harder you go, man, the higher you feel. That's my experience. So I just remember, man, it would just give me relief. I was on some detox meds. He was taking me to the gym. And I just had relief, man, when I was there. I just felt good. And all of a sudden I could see a little cut coming. I started to meal prep. I was watching him meal prep and all that. And at the exact same time, right, when I came home from LA, it was amazing because I met my AA sponsor. And my AA sponsor just happened to be a world champ bodybuilder. I mean, what are the chances? I mean, how amazing is God that he brought me home from LA, put my brother in my life, who's a physique competitor, who could bring me back to working out, and then the second day back, introduced me to my sponsor, who's still my sponsor today, almost 9 years later, and happened to be a world champ bodybuilder. So between the two of them, they taught me everything that I know about nutrition and fitness and working out and everything like that. The rest is kind of trial and error, I'm not into, reading a bunch of junk on the internet, but the rest is kind of trial and error. And I've always been a real kind of basic workout guy. I just always believed in going hard on the weights, eating properly, prepping your own food, and being pretty basic, man, with the supplements. You've seen videos about my supplement regimen if you followed the channel. It's super basic. And he introduced me to Beverly International products. That was like his thing. He's like, these are the best supplements. This is the only stuff, that I take. I've won all my competitions using Beverly. So I used Beverly for years. I just thought that was the best there is, and that's what worked for him. So I replicated that, and I was, did wholesale stuff for Beverly. I just bought enough to get a discount, and then if people at the gym wanted it, or some friends, my brother's a trainer, so he sold the Beverly proteins and stuff to the, his clients or whatever. So anyway, man, I've always just, so then I'm just kind of an addict, so it's from detoxing off heroin and using the gym as a place to feel better, to get my endorphins going, to try and, get my hormones back working again from all that abuse I did to my body. I just kind of went all in, man. I just was like, this is the lifestyle I'm going to live. I'm going to eat clean Monday through Friday. I could cheat on the weekends. I'm going to stick to it. I wanted to see the six pack. Every little thing that kept happening gave me a reason to not, and I never fell off, man. When I came home from LA, almost 9 years ago, I started training with my brother to detox, to feel better. I haven't fallen off since. I've never fallen off. I never was like, oh, I'm off for a few months. The only time I fell off was I had the brain injury. I had COVID a couple weeks. I couldn't work out, but I never fell off, man, from my regimen. And even during that brain injury and COVID, I kept up with my eating and all that. So I'm scared to lose it. So the point is, there's a high, not just the actual working out, but seeing the progress, seeing the six-pack develop, seeing there's another cut there you didn't see before. There's another one. There's like a high associated with everything, man. And it just feels good. I just want to feel good, and I feel good all the time, man. I feel high. Every workout I do, I leave there feeling good. Even if I'm feeling like kind of crummy that day, I still just feel good. And I've never really been the kind that just like does one thing. I like to bike. That's its own high. I like to do yoga, believe it or not. I swim laps. I swim like a maniac. Everything I do, I lift weights. Everything I do has a different buzz. I mean, my rest weeks, those come with their own buzz because I'm resting, giving my body a break. So that's just where I came from. A guy who was introduced to running and associated with this working out gets me high. I learned it at age 7, man. I mean, I learned that at age 7. And, I tell people who are young, who are lifting weights, if you can get it now, that working out gets you high, man, you're good. You're good. This will keep you out of trouble. It's the best. Working out is my best friend. Because it just doesn't do you wrong. If you take care of your body and you don't abuse your body with working out and you rest properly and feed it properly, you're going to have it the rest of your life, man. That's why I don't run anymore, because running's too hard on the body. I want to be in this for the long run. I don't want to beat my body down. People who don't take rest weeks, or they have to train every day. I got to do some cardio every day. That's your head, homie. That's craziness. That's not your body. Your body wants the rest. So you're missing crucial gains. All that, I got to do something every day. I can't take 2 days off. I don't train 7 days a week. I train 5 days a week. I rest 2 days. I don't do a dang thing for 2 days. So it's just a constant growing. It's been a big part of my spiritual life, because bodybuilding has gotten me closer to God, because it gives me a way to practice restriction. With the things I do and don't eat, with the way that I live, with the way that I don't indulge in everything. It helped me stop jerking off, because that got in the way of my workouts and my drive and my weightlifting. The bodybuilding lifestyle has got me closer to God. I'm a big believer that practicing restriction gets you to higher spiritual levels. And bodybuilding has given me a beautiful life of restriction, man. So that's where I come from. That's my history. A guy who's learned at a young age that working out gets you high. I always looked up to that. And I kept coming back to it, from the boarding school to the heroin detox. It always came back to me, man, somehow or another, working out. And the other thing is, I hated the team sports, and this bodybuilding has given me something that I can do on my own. It's amazing to work out with someone. It's just as good to work out without someone. That's why I love it, man. I could do it completely on my own and be just as satisfied, or I could do it with a homie and have the camaraderie and be satisfied too. So it's like gives me everything. So that's what I got, man. I just want to make more content, man, sharing my story with you and my experience, and giving you some dang motivation. So let's get high, man. It's all about getting high, feeling good. I hope you're feeling good, man, from the heart. God bless all of you. Together, let's get this dang muscle. I'm out.